So what's better than a romance series? Well, how about a series that's full of fantasy, dragons, and magic? Here are the top 10 romance fantasy series you must watch. Let's go. Number 10, the Saint's magic power is omnipotent.
少しぼーっとしちゃって。
そうか。今日は大変な日だったな。疲れているだろうから早めに横になった方がいい。
ありがとうございます。
There's no better way to start a romance fantasy list than some isekai. This time, instead of a boy getting transported into another world and becoming a hero, we have the saint known as Sei Takanashi. But the sad thing is, two of them were summoned. They say that Sei wasn't the one and just left her to survive on her own, but lucky for her, she meets Albert, a commander of the Order of Knights and soon-to-be lover.
君ならできるさ。
This show is completely underrated and is somewhat surprising that it doesn't get a lot of attention. Unlike other isekai that have your typical overpowered main character, this series takes it slow and steady with the pacing of the story. Most of the romance is not over the top too, and the anime tries to keep it subtle, which you might say might be an acquired taste. Number 9, Trapped in a Dating Sim.
リオンさんもマリエさんみたいな人が好きですか？違うんですか？
好きどころか大嫌いだね。
Not only does this one have both fantasy and romance, but it also has a little bit of mecha too, for all you techie weebs out there. This man is the pure definition of sheer will and determination because he finished an entire dating simulator without ever taking a break. And because he was such an alpha gamer, he died and got reincarnated into the very game he played. And worst of all, he's just a mob.
けーな、勝てる可能性があるから名乗り出たんだ。だいたい決闘を申し込んだのはお前だからな。
だからそれを謝ってるんだろうが。バカなのかお前は。
Even though there are some hiccups with the animation, the story is engaging to a point where it's similar to My Next Life as a Villainess, except that the main character is a guy. It does the job of adding characters without making the story too chaotic, and the way the main character becomes overpowered is enjoyable to watch. Number 8, Spirit Chronicles.
もちろんこの結婚は私も同意してのことよ。
相手があのシャルル・アルボーなのにですか。
じゃあリオが私をもらってくれる？それともリオが私をどこかに連れて行ってそこで一生私と暮らしてくれる？
Unlike the other two, this one is just the classic main character who gets reincarnated to another world that gets overpowered trope, and we all know there's a harem that always comes with it. Spirit Chronicles is about a random Japanese college student who gets involved in a traffic accident and is transported to another world. He saves a princess and the king enrolls him in a magic school for rich kids, so that's where his story starts.
行きましょう、さゆさん。
でもいいんですか？
ええ、面倒事は避けたいですからね。
The plot of Spirit Chronicles is actually quite simple, and it was cleanly written. It might be somewhat common, but it does the job of diving from one arc to another. Although the sound and animation are average, the way they use it to support the overall appeal of the story is amazing to see. Number 7, Mayu.
結婚なんてしてないよ。
期間無制限の相互所有契約だ。まさに結婚じゃないですか。白爪草とクローバーほどに違う。同じものですよ。それ。
It's boring to see the two main characters go lovey-dovey all of a sudden, but how about when a demon lord and the hero fall in love? Well, it all happened when the hero charged towards the demon lord's castle and found out the demon lord was actually a woman. And just like that, the two turned from enemies to lovers and are on a mission to make the world a better place together.
勇者。
おう、なんだ。
勇者。
もう。
So Mayu is basically the devil as a part-timer, but reverses the genders, and they actually do something good. Mayu is definitely one of the best fantasy romance anime, especially if you're there for the plot. It's not all serious drama, and there are some heartwarming moments as well, so why not give it a try? Number 6, How a Realist Hero Builds a Kingdom.
そうま。
本当はアイーシャより
ジュナさんよりも先に伝えなければいけなかったんだ。リジア、君を愛している。俺と結婚してくれ。
本当に今更ね。
Now, if you're an economics student, make sure that you watch this one. How a realist hero builds a kingdom is just like Mayu, but just like what it says in the title, the hero is a realist and doesn't believe that magic can make a kingdom strong. So he goes on to marry the princess and become king, all the while rebuilding the game using his knowledge as a 19-year-old Japanese guy.
もちろん婚約も破棄でいい。
じゃなくて、数年後には王様なんてやめてるだろうしなって。あなた数年でこの国をなんとかできるつもりなの?
The anime industry has a lot of isekai, and I mean a lot. So it's refreshing to see an isekai that actually does world building right. Even though most of the characters feel like they came from World of Warcraft, the show dives deep into everyday realistic concepts like politics, relationships, and royal drama. There's not a lot of action, but when it does appear, it's a banger. Number 5, Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
ギルドのメンバーは誰もインしてなさそうですね。
近い。動揺してはならない。ごめんなさい。ドキドキします。
If those two anime weren't for you, how about traps? Not literal traps like poison arrows, but the scary gender traps you see in anime. In this show, our girl, Morioka, quits her job and decides to use a male character in a famous MMO game. But she meets another player who was a guy playing a female character. They don't know each other's identities, but when they accidentally meet at the convenience store, fate might have more plans for them than they thought.
少しお聞きしたいことが。
どうかしました？服大きすぎましたか？
あ、いえ。
Think of Sword Art Online, but less depressing and more wholesome. This anime truly shows relatable characters, unlike Kirito and Asuna. The show uses the MMO theme in a way where it's not cringy and actually helps in developing the characters and their relationships. With a really good ending theme, Recovery of an MMO Junkie should be on your watch list. Number 4, A Lull in the Sea.
梅酒だってお酒はお酒でしょ?
ああ、梅酒はな。無理に大人ぶんなよ。
Enough of the Demon Lord's magic and game mechanics. Let's go back to the place where fantasy was about your imagination and call it A Lull in the Sea. This anime talks about a world where humans used to live under the sea, but some humans started living on land. It shows a group of children both from the land and the sea as they fight their differences and a disaster that's about to come.
開けるよ。
ちょっと。
I'll say it to you loud and clear. Do not judge a book by its cover. This anime will break your expectations, and just from the animation alone, you will not stop watching it. It brings you into the world and makes you want to understand the characters even more. It might not be a no-brainer show, but it'll definitely make you feel weird emotions. Number 3, Spice and Wolf.
それにノーラと呼べばいくら早口でもわかるだろう。それに比べてフォローは一瞬だからな。頭に血が上ってたら聞こえないかもしれない。どうだ、実に説得力あふれる。
ダマリス！少しだけ短いからわっちの名を呼んだじゃと？このたわけ！
Are you a furry? Do you weirdly feel like you're falling in love with an animal? Well, Spice and Wolf is for you. It's all about a wolf deity who lost all her powers after no one prayed for her anymore. Our girl Hollow meets Lawrence, and together they go on a journey towards the north. As they travel, they try their best to get rich because what's better combination than a merchant and a god who could see a person's true character when you do business?
こっちのよりよっぽど役に立つ。
こいつめ。
じゃあお二人ともお幸せに。
Warning, this is an acquired taste. Not because you have to be a furry, but because the show focuses more on the lines the characters speak and how they fit the characters into the fantasy setting. The voice acting is insanely good, along with the soundtrack, and it helps strengthen the emotions of the show. Number 2, Snow White with the Red Hair.
行ってきます。
ああ。
どうしました、主？
いや、別に。
Whoever thought we could see a redhead Snow White? Huh? You can in this anime. Snow White isn't literally here, it's just the name of the main girl. She works at a herbal shop, but leaves her life after the prince forces her to marry him, but when she escapes, she meets another prince from a neighboring kingdom, and her life completely changes.
もっと近くまで見に行くか。あ、白雪。外に行くまでな。
This is basically Snow White, but better. The anime doesn't have the usual overpowered main character, the great demon lord, or some crazy twist. Although it does have some action, it's mostly a peaceful romance that follows the lives of the two main characters. The plot feels natural, and there are a lot of wholesome moments that you could find in individual episodes. It's just a good show to watch. Number 1, Akatsuki no Yona.
初めて会ったけれど、あなたといると明るくなれるの。ちゃんと言ってなかったから改めて言うわ。私はヨナ、王竜ゼノ。これからよろしくね。
Enough of these wholesome moments. We want some action. And Akatsuki no Yona is here to serve us up. After the princess of a kingdom has to run off with her bodyguard after a coup that overthrew their rule, she now goes on a mission to find the ancient legends and get back to her kingdom while avoiding death as assassins try to end her life. If that doesn't sound like action, I don't know what will.
何らしくないこと言ってるの？
ですね。忘れてください。
もう遅いわ。忘れない。
Akatsuki no Yona is a favorite for a lot of anime watchers out there, but not everyone knows about it. The story is unique and engaging, while the animation's so good that you could hardly believe it was a romance in the first place. There's a lot of action and most of the characters are well developed throughout the series. There are little to no downsides in watching this anime, so that's why it's number 1 in our list of top 10 romance fantasy series of all time.